my Dungaree family, welcome back. Today we are talking about smartphones, social media addictions. Things might look a little different right now because we have rolling blackouts in our country. Right now we have about a 2-hour blackout and I can't turn on the light. It's really tragic when a young woman at the cusp of her adulthood is sitting staring at a screen, entertaining herself, wasting time, completely letting go of all her talents, her abilities, letting her brain decay, basically. The effect of that kind of stimulation on your brain is so detrimental. It's not as if you're in a place of stasis or preservation for your future. You are decaying. Your brain is being decayed by this entertainment. Christian girls, in particular, are being subject to all kinds of traps and problems that are leading them away from God. That's not to say men aren't either, but the internet has opened up a plethora of sins and ways in which to sin and waste our time that has never been possible before. A society likes to focus on how, pornography is destroying men. We don't always look into how women are behaving with their phones. Phones are taking up way too much of our time. In this video, we'll be talking about scripture that actually talks about these things in a prophetic way, and also the seriousness of the matter and how it affects your future, how it affects your salvation and your role as a Christian woman, your testimony. All these things are being affected by your smartphone. A quick little announcement before we jump into the video. My husband and I found out 2 weeks ago that we are expecting. So this will be our fourth child and we are just so excited. I'm hoping for a girl. My husband thinks it's a boy, but we'll see. We'll go for a scan in a few weeks and we'll be able to see if it's a boy or girl. So I'll probably let you know then. I just thought I'd let you know because the chances are I'm going to be feeling very tired and nauseous. I'm already starting to feel the effects. So I might not be consistent with the videos or on my other social media, but I will try. But if I'm not, you will know why. So I don't need to tell you that it's bad to be wasting time on your phone. Your conscience tells you that. We all know it. And I'm not going to say I am guiltless of it myself. There are times where I lose myself exploring things online, on my phone, or watching videos. There is a time and a place for relaxing and a time and a place for researching, for a little bit of entertainment. But when these things are taking up a vast majority of our daily lives and causing us to be obsessed and distracted in our lives to the point where our actual lives are suffering and we're not actually living a real life, we've got a problem. And a lot of us are not acknowledging that. We try to maintain an illusion of keeping a balance, and in actual fact, we're not. So I'll be honest, I also catch myself wasting time on my phone, but it's just all too easy to let it happen because, it's such an absorbing world to be in. It's entertaining and you forget your surroundings. Thankfully, my husband keeps me accountable and he, lets me know if he thinks, enough's enough to put my phone away. And that helps me be more conscious about when I spend time on my phone, what I do with that time, and being a bit more disciplined. Having said that, the issue is not entirely discipline as much as what are you doing on your phone. So discipline is very important. Scripture tells us to exercise self-control. The internet and having a phone, having a device that is so personalized and easy to take into a private space can open up doors for so much sin and so much mischief that I feel this needs to be addressed. Girls are being allowed far too much time on their phones. I don't think teenagers should really have phones. They should have something that, a parent can contact them on if they're going out somewhere or for some reason they need to be contacted. They can have an old cell phone that can't go online. You don't need to go online, especially young kids. It's a major distraction and a waste of their time. Those developmental years of maturing from childhood into adulthood are so crucial to what you will be when you're older. If you are letting your child waste that time, waste their energy, waste their abilities on something as stupid as a phone, you are providing a breeding ground for sin and failure. In today's day and age, we actually live a very comfortable life. Lifestyle in general has improved so much that to a point where I think it's actually a problem. Young people are inactive and not really needed. They sit around in their homes, frittering away time, entertaining themselves. And most people don't think about how wrong that is. People like to encourage children and young adults to please themselves and to just enjoy life by means of being idle and indulging themselves. So all this ease and comfort due to the fact that we have, the Industrial Revolution, and so much of the nitty-gritty of daily life is taken care of by mass production. We don't have any connection with where our food comes from anymore, and our children don't have any work to do around the house because everything's taken care of. And you can put your child to good use, even if you don't have a farming lifestyle. Your child can help around the house. But something has to be done about the amount of time spent on smartphones. We all know that social media is addictive. Our phones are so fun to interact with, and the apps are designed to keep you on them, so it develops a endorphin loop and you get hooked. We can pretty much all relate to this feeling of struggling to put our phones down, being able to just say no when we hear a notification go off on our phones. The real problem comes in when young women are idle and given phones with internet access. They are idle and living wastefully. So what happens is you develop a inflamed conscience, because every one of us knows we should not be wasting our lives. We've been given our lives, we've been given our talents, and it is wrong for us to waste it. So our consciences will tell us that. Now what we have is a massive world of young people, all connected, and the majority of them are idle, but they can connect all over the world without supervision, without knowledge of the parents of what they are doing with their phones, in their chat rooms, in their video live streams. And the reason why I address it is because it's not just peculiar to ungodly people or people who don't know Jesus. People who claim to know Jesus are sitting on their phones, wasting time and indulging their lusts. I'm just going to talk about the women because I think fathers should address the young men. The older men should deal with the younger men. I will talk to the younger women. What I see happening is women seeking validation via their fake profiles and, connecting and forming friendships with strangers online to have a sense of validation and being interesting. We also have a lot of young women who feel they don't have the looks, but they use the research online to try and validate why they are broken and why they can't do anything and why they are beyond repair or such a victim of what happened in their past. So instead of turning to the Bible and learning about how to overcome, they turn to the knowledge of the world, worldly wisdom, all available online to teach them about how they just need to love themselves more and they just need more validation. Their inflamed conscience is just low self-esteem, and it's because of the way other people treat them and not because they are idle and wasteful and need to get off their couches and get on with life. And of course, you have all these many free apps to download. The amount of games you can download can keep you busy for your entire life, and they're highly, highly addictive. You will see a girl just sitting there playing this Candy Crush game and just mindless, absolutely mindless. What is she doing with her time? Why is she doing that? There are so many better things she could be doing, and yet that is the thing she's chosen to give it her attention to. There are so many distractions, so many ways to indulge yourself with your phone that at the end of the day, the result is all the same. It's a person who feels validated through the distraction of their phone, not to engage with real life, because simply by typing in a psychological question as to why they struggle with this or that, the internet will reassure you that you just need more indulgence and not more self-discipline, or not to be accountable to somebody else, but to be indulging yourself more and more and to love yourself more. Now, if any of these things is a problem for you in your life, where you are the kind of woman who spends hours and hours every day on her phone, you are a dead woman. That sounds harsh, but the Bible says that. 1 Timothy 4 verse 6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. And that is something I really keep in the back of my mind to keep me on my toes, so that I can remember that Proverbs 31 woman does not eat the bread of idleness. Being a hard-working woman is almost synonymous with being a virtuous woman, a good woman. But if you live only to please yourself and to indulge yourself, you are dead while you are yet alive. So what really got me to make this video was a verse from 2 Timothy 3 verse 5. Talks about the end times and what people will be like in the last days. I would love to read the whole chapter to you, but for the sake of brevity and that I don't lose your attention, I will just read the 2 verses that stood out to me. It's describing the last days, which are described as perilous times. The beginning of the chapter is, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves," etc., etc., "having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away." Don't spend time with people who say they're Christians, but they don't believe Jesus can do anything for them. They don't believe Jesus can heal them from their past hurts, that Jesus can heal broken relationships, that Jesus can make you strong when you are weak, that He has given you the power to overcome every obstacle. "For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women, laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts." That really made me stop and think. It's a very specific description of the type of women who are affected by a certain type of deceiver. "For of this sort are they who creep into houses and lead captive silly women, laden with sins, led away by diverse lusts." And immediately my thought was, this is a technology prophecy. It's talking about how men creep into houses via your device. What could be easier? What could be more sneaky? What could be more cowardly for a man to sneak into your life through your social media? I get that all the time. There's all kinds of creepy guys out there sliding into your DMs. And a lot of girls are flattered by this. That is why I'm talking about idleness. If you are idle, you are looking for validation because you know you haven't given life your all, you haven't given your talents to the service of God, and you feel guilty about it, so you're looking for validation. Those little notifications pop up on your phone, you feel flattered. Someone is interested in you, someone liked your photos, someone thinks you're interesting. That is where everything goes downhill. Young ladies, the Bible calls women who are led astray by people with flattering tongues and deceitful words silly woman. So this particular woman is laden with sins and led away by diverse lusts. Laden with sins meaning she has focused on herself. Her whole life revolves around herself. She can only fight for herself. She's cantankerous and self-absorbed and can't give, has no love to give. Can't give to anybody. Led away by diverse lusts. I think common lusts amongst women are wanting attention from other men, and for wanting hidden spiritual knowledge that is not theirs to know. Hence the super spiritual woman who is so above everybody else, but at the same time doesn't know Jesus at all. She has made up her own philosophy about Jesus and about His word, that in a sense that is witchcraft. So this is just a warning for us young ladies to not be flattered by attention from strangers online, not to be looking for it, not to be hoping for it, not to be seeking validation on the internet at all, ever. read the Bible, find out what's wrong in your life through the Bible, and work from there. You can't go wrong with that approach. And I might be coming off really strong, but I have seen the effects of that kind of lifestyle. Everything for the young woman revolves around her feelings and making use of the philosophical trash that is being circulated online about how the human psyche works and how to obtain healing and restoration. The only way to get healing and restoration is through Jesus. If you're looking for it anywhere else, you have gone off the path. You need to go back to the scripture and find out how to connect with the Lord and how to learn from Him. These things can lead us away from God. If you are indulging yourself day in and day out, you will slowly lose touch with the love of God, with the Spirit of God, and eventually you'll be so brainwashed by what you're reading on your phone and the things you're doing on your phone that you will not be able to think like a Christian anymore. That does happen. Saying you're a Christian, but reciting meaningless garbage from psychologists that come from the pit of hell is not Christian. Christianity is a way of life, and the Spirit of God should be moving through you. It should be seen through the way you live. This is not about self-help or Jordan Peterson telling you to make your bed and keep your room tidy in order to self-improve. I'm not talking about self-improvement. I am talking about a living relationship with Jesus where you are really connected to Jesus. You know His will. You know that what is good and what is bad, and you do not want to do what is bad. If you are enjoying indulgent sins, you are not cultivating a Christian way. It's not a heavy burden to know Jesus. It's not hard to know Jesus. He enables you and His Spirit moves through you. But if you have turned your eyes back to the filth and to the way of death, that's your choice. But don't do it. It's not going to lead down a good path. Could very well lead you away from Christ. So that's the message for today. It might sound a bit extravagant and over the top, but I really think we need to take our lives seriously. We need to take our walk with God seriously and not think that because Christ has done everything for us that now we can sit and waste away our lives. There is a parable about the servant, the good servants who invested their talents, which is the silver that the master gave to them, and made some returns. And then the one who buried it all and did nothing because he was convinced that God was a harsh and cruel master, and no matter what he did, God would not be pleased with him. So he buried it. That is a fearful, dark understanding of God. God is gracious. Whatever you do in His name, for Him, He will bless it. You can do anything for Him if it's a good thing. Clean the house for Him, He will bless you. Have children for Him, He will bless you. Keep a garden for Him, He will bless it. So there's nothing to be afraid of. You can go out there, set your hand to the plow and do something. So hopefully that encourages you to find a strategy to manage your time on your phone. I mean, if you could, throw it away and get a cheaper thing that doesn't distract you so much. Honestly, if you're a young person, you're still in your parents' house, you don't need it. It would be better for you if you didn't have it. That's my opinion. I hope it means something to you, and I pray the Lord's blessing on your life and that His Spirit would flow through it. And I'll catch you next week. Goodbye.